Come on, Bob. Bad weather coming this way. I'm always doing all the work, Bob. Don't you ever smile? You never smile. I always wonder what the people think when they walk by and see us talking to each other. Welcome back, warriors. Hopefully by this point you already saw the video on quick deploy, ridgeline, knots. So first video was just basically how you tie the knots. So you can practice that stuff first. And I showed you, I walk around with paracord in my pocket pretty much all the time and always messing with tying some knots. Instead of getting lost on my phone and rotting my brain, I just sit there tying knots and getting better at them and try doing my eyes closed or blindfolded or stuff like that. And it's a good, I think it's an important skill set. I do. So in this video, we're going to go over basically how you wrap this one around a tree, wrap the other end around another tree, and get a tarp on attached to your line so you can get some shade, some escape from the elements, get some shelter, and how you do it kind of quick. All right, let's get after it. What's up, warriors? This is Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button, and YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, so you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. All right, so I'm going to be moving around a bit and moving the camera around a bit, and hopefully the stuff that's outside of the camera's view isn't too messy. But we're going to zoom in a little bit on how to get these going. Again, I'm in the dojo, so I'm basically on a mat. I have heavy bags and martial arts training equipment, but I use them so that I could practice the skills that I want to be good at when I hit the great outdoors. So I don't have any trees growing in here. I have a bonsai tree that's hanging on for dear life, but not a bonsai tree, a bamboo plant. Something I teach my martial arts students and my emergency preparedness students and anybody that'll listen to me, I guess, is about being resourceful, you know? So in the dojo, we have we do Filipino stick fighting as part of our, curriculum, Filipino martial arts. So I've been working on different types of lash and square lashes and whatnot. And these are called Joe staffs. A tall one would be a bow staff. A short one's a Joe staff. And I had a few of them and I lash them together, working on a tripod. And again, this is just stuff that I have in the dojo and around that I'm able to practice with and practice my skills with. And I do it between classes. Students will come in and see me working on stuff, and I like when they see me learning that, yes, I'm an instructor, yes, I help teach them, but I'm still learning too. I'm still getting better at it too. And how could I get better? Is by practicing and trying and failing and making mistakes and trying again and just keep on learning, So my students have been watching me relearn a lot of these skills that I learned when I was a lot younger, and I hadn't done them in a long time. And if you were watching the other videos, there's some survival schools that I'm very interested in going to take my survival skills to the next level. I have a kit and a go bag, and I'm good at camping and good at a lot of those things. But the guys that I look up to in this field of endeavor, they're really good. They're so masterful at it that, to me, like, hey man, good enough is like the enemy. So I know that I'm not good enough. I know that I have a lot of room to learn, and there are definitely holes in my game as far as my survival skills that I'm working on. So in preparation for that, in addition to preparation for my martial arts stuff and my firearm stuff and my emergency preparedness stuff, this is one of the skill sets that I teach. So I want to get better at it so I can pass it on to my students and pass it on to you guys. And hopefully you get enough out of it from me and there's so many masters out there on YouTube that as you get better at it, you should be practicing it and passing it on. These are the things that, like, I don't know, basic dude stuff. Pat Mac, I love you, man. All right, let's check it out. So a couple of things that I use in the dojo for a million things, but especially lately when I'm practicing all this stuff, there's times when you would use sticks or things that you would find on the ground to kind of help you out. So I use the sticks that we use for stick fighting. I use the knives that we use for knife fighting. Again, these are just trainers. They're plastic. They're not sharp at all. But, it works great as a toggle when I'm going to be using it to secure my line. So, again, I'll show you. And, again, I'm just using stuff that's at my disposal. There's a million things I have around my house that aren't, martial arts things. Or go grab a stick out of the backyard or go walk the dog and you come across a stick. I could use that. And the better you get at finding the things that are around in your environment, getting yourself into that mindset of like keeping an eye out for things that could serve more than one purpose, things that could help you out, things that don't cost any money, or things that you already have. I'm big on that one. Okay, so I have the bags set up very close to one another for this. I usually have them set up a little further apart to closer, you know, more like what I would be looking for outside. So we went over the quick deploy, right, very briefly. So I just unravel my cord. I take the part that I'm going to wrap around the first tree, so I have a bowline knot. And then a bunch of, I have 3 prusik knots immediately following that. So the first thing I do is I get close to tree number 1. I'm going to grab one of my sticks. I get close to tree number 1, hold on to my bowline knot, throw my line at the other tree. I slide my prusik knots down and throw my bowline around the tree. So I have the loop of my bowline knot, and I take a bite. I take basically a piece of the cord that's running towards the other tree, make a loop, feed it through the loop of my bowline knot. Through the loop that I fed through my bowline knot, I take a stick. And now when I pull on my ridge line, this stays in place. I keep it taut. I go to my other tree. I wrap my ridge line around. And again, you're going to have to refer back to the other video to see how you make these knots. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but now I do my pheromone friction hitch. Make my loop. Loop goes over the ridge line, wraps under itself once, wraps under itself twice. There's a little loop on top. The running end, working end, I always get those mixed up. I don't know which one's which. The loose end, the end of the line, I make a bite, which feeds through the loop, and I pull it tight. Now, the beauty of this, I hope from that angle you can see this a little bit better. It's kind of sagging a little bit, but check this out. So I make my friction hitch tight, and this thing slides. Check it out. Slides. Look at that, like a ratchet. Tight, tight. Very cool, right? And that works very much the same way as your prusik knots. So see how this slides nice and easy, but as soon as I pull some tension on it and I pull it back along itself, strong. Same thing, slides, no problem. As soon as I pull some tension on it, it bites into the cord. And that's how you're going to hang the 2 ends of your tarp out. Now, my tarp is bigger than this, like, 3-foot span. So I guess I'll have to stretch this out a little bit further, and I'll show you how I attach the tarp. But check this out. Ready? I pull this, boom, down. Watch this. Take the stick out, down, and there's your ridge line. Talk about quick deploy. It's quick deploy and quick undeploy. Quick take that, I don't know. And then, let's go over this part again. This is cool. So, the way I wind it up on my hand, I have my bowline knot, my 3 prusiks. I put it between my nanu, mork from ork, around my thumb, around my pinky, around my thumb, around my pinky, around my thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb. And this is so when you go to deploy it, it doesn't get tangled. Whatever magic is in running it this way or looping it this way is what allows you to, check this out. Take your hand out, hold on to the part of my bowline knot, and my God, I love when that happens. Bowline knot and prusiks between your 2 middle fingers, pinch them together, so it holds in place, and just start running around your thumb, around your pinky, around your thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb. All right, so now we'll zoom in on how I did each part of that. All right, so part 1 is I unravel the part that was holding my quick deploy together. I hold on to my bowline, I take the rest, and I throw it at the other tree. I got to slide the prusiks down far enough that I'll be able to throw this part, the bowline knot, around the tree. Throw the bowline around the tree. And now when I get to the front, I have my bowline knot and my loop. Can you see that? Maybe bring it more closer. More closer. Is that English, Davey? Okay. So I got my prusik knot, my bowline knot, a bite on this other piece. I just basically make a loop, and I put that loop through this. Done. And then I take a stick through the bite. So that's the bowline over there. This is the bite that I fed through the bowline, and I put my stick or toggle through there. Boom, and that's how it holds tight, nice and strong. And watch how quick it releases. Boom, done. So I got my bowline and my bowline and my 3 prusiks. I slide the prusiks down far enough that I could take the bowline, and I throw the bowline around the tree. When I get to the front, so I have the loop of my bowline knot, and I'm going to take a piece of the long end, and I'm just going to make a loop out of it. So my bowline loop and the loop I just made that has no knot in it. I slide the bite, that loop is called a bite, through the bowline, hold on to it, and put a toggle through it. Pull on your long end, and there you go. And again, so you have one prusik over there, one will go in the middle, one will go on the other end. And this is your bowline. And again, watch, I slide out my toggle, just loosen up on the line, and the whole thing comes apart. Awesome. All right, now, when we get to the other end, you take the longer end of your cord, it goes around the tree. You pull it kind of snug. So this is your ridge line. And this is your working end, running end. Again, I always get those confused. What I do is I take this one, and this is where I tie the pheromone friction hitch. Loop under it, loop under itself. Under. I have this little loop right here. And this loop goes on top of my ridge line. It goes under and through. That little loop, get that loop right there. Goes under and through again. And when it comes up, there's a little loop here. Now, this is the long end of my string. It's under, and now we put a bite here, and this bite goes through here. There's your pheromone friction hitch. Pull it tight. And now, it's a little bit loose, but watch this. It slides very much like your prusik knot. Slide, make it tight, slide, make it tight, slide, make it tight. And if you don't want it to come out, you could put a toggle through this bite, which will hold it in place and it'll stay. And again, you just use a stick or something. Because if you don't put that in there and you pull, the beauty of this knot, if you ask me, is as you pull, watch what happens to the whole thing. Boom. The whole thing vanishes. Awesome. So again, pheromone friction hitch. Get here. Under. Over. On top. Under around once. Under around twice. I'm making it big where I usually make it tighter and less sloppy. Yeah, unacceptable. Unacceptable. It'll work, but that's not neat. You make it smaller and tighter, but again, watch. Done. Under, over one time, over 2 times, through, tight, tight, and it slides. It's like a taut line hitch. If anybody who's watching, you're familiar with the taut line hitch. It's basically a taut line hitch knot on a bite, so it comes apart quick. Cool? Cool. All right, so got a TARP, got my 3 prusik knots. The one in the middle we don't have to bother with. I'm going to take the one on each end, hold on to one end of the tarp. For these purposes, I might not be able to get it as tight as I would like to, but just so you get an idea of how so we take one corner, I basically take the prusik knot and the loop that's dangling, and we feed it through the grommet, the hole, the tie down thing, it's called a grommet. Get in there. Okay, and then again, use a stick, like a toggle, and then we make this tight. We pull all the way out to one side. We go to the other end and do the same thing. You find your prusik knot, stuff the prusik knot through the grommet, stick, like a toggle, through that little loop, pull it tight, and there's your ridgeline. And again, depends on where you want to put this. You can make an A-frame by feeding this through one of the middle grommets, and then you use your cord and some stakes to tie it down on each end. But basically, the way you're going to fix your ridgeline is with, we could get the ridgeline up in a minute. I could do it in about a minute or less, using the toggles and stuff, and feeding the cord through the grommets of the tarp. There we go. Get under here, Bob. Get under there. You're going to get wet, man. Come on, Bob. Get in there, baby. Crazy Bob, always playing hide and seek. This guy never smiles. Never smiles. I think he's got a toggle. He's got a toggle somewhere. It's uncomfortable, I think. There you go. Pretty cool, right? You going to hold that thing up there, Bob? Oh, he didn't say no. All right, so again, I have a prusik knot over here. We pull it loose, it slides no problem. I'm going to take the toggle out. I got a wood one, so the contrast is a little bit better. So basically the grommet of the tarp, the knot of my prusik knot. I feed the knot of the prusik knot through the grommet of the tarp. You have this little loop on the other end, and my wooden tanto. We use these for knife fighting in the dojo, also for knife training. And there goes. There's your loop, grommet, loop, prusik knot, loop of the prusik, toggle, grommet, and then this toggle goes right through, and it holds tight, right? And then look, check this out. I just take the prusik knot and slide it. And you slide it as far as it'll go, and then some, and it bites down. And look, it won't. That's strong. And that you do that on each side. So when you want to break it down, you just pull this out. That's your toggle. Grommet's free. Prusik knot goes back to the end. After I pull out the pheromone friction hitch on the other side, I pull this out, and the whole thing comes down. I'll show you. All right, so when we want to break this down, check this out. I'm going to pull out the toggle on this side, feed the prusik knot through the grommet. That's one. I pull the toggle out of the other side, pull the knot through the grommet. Bob! 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 You can't be hiding under plastic, man. Jeez. I slide my prusiks down to this side. Pheromone friction hitch. It's down. The other side, we pull out the toggle, and it's down. Slide my prusik knots down to the bowline knot. The bowline knot goes through my nanu fingers. Thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky. Get over here. Pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb, pinky, thumb. You could practice this in your basement, your kitchen, your garage, your backyard. And you just wrap it up and keep it nice and neat. And then wherever you keep your tarp, you put this with it. And that way when it's about to start raining, find two trees. So the cord is about, 30 feet in length. The prusik knots, I'm using bank line. I measure it from my pinky to the fold, the end of my middle finger to the fold of my elbow. And, you know, they could be long. It doesn't matter. I'd rather have them bigger and I could work with them than too short and it's a nuisance. You fold up your tarp, throw your quick deploy RIDGELINE in there, and you're good to go. Remember, the coolest part about this is just how when you do that pinky thumb, pinky thumb, pinky thumb, pinky thumb, again, when I take out the lines that are binding it together to keep it all nice and neat, I hold on to the bowline, toss the rest, and look. Nice and neat, man, nice and neat. So again, the trick between your middle fingers, your middle and ring finger, thumb, pinky thumb, pinky thumb, pinky thumb. So you get it all together. So if you got questions about this, just ask. There's so many guys out there doing this, and they're all so good at it. And really, I look up to a lot of them. You know, they're, you know, again, good enough is like the enemy. You're never good enough. We're going to have another video, a mat chat, we call them. Chats we have on the mat that if you're the best one in the room, you're in the wrong room. Whatever you're doing in your life, if you're the best one at it, you're hanging out with the wrong people. So you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. You're the most successful in the room, you're in the wrong room. Hang out with people that are better than you at the things that you're trying to get good at, and you'll get better too. That good stuff will rub off on you. So that's how I live my life, and it's really taken me great places and helped me make some great friends and great network of people, and just be humble about it. You know, say, oh man, I like how you do that. There's a saying in the martial arts, empty your cup and drink my tea. When I go, I have a bunch of black belts, and I'm a big deal in some martial arts, on paper, I suppose. But when I go to cross-train in other arts that I would like to become a black belt in, I don't walk in there like I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman. I just say, hi, I'm Dave. I'm the new guy. I'm going to hang out in the back and just, you know, I'm just here to learn. And I leave all of the stuff that I already know at the door. And I go in there with a empty mind, a clear mind, a humble heart, and just tons of respect. You know, just be polite to everybody and help where I can, try as hard as I can, be on time, pay on time, train hard, be respectful, be polite, be the change I want to see in the world around me. And it's really taken me a lot of really awesome places. And if there's anything I could really pass on to my students, it's that mentality. The warrior mindset of like, I will never give up, and you'll have to kill me to make me give up. But when it comes to learning and helping out, you know, lead, follow, or get out of the way. Words to live by. So if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you got to have it, hit the bell notification, and YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find us on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. Well, that's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching. I got you, Bob. I got you. It's time to get some sleep.